Speaking of Mustangs, we watched Lord of the Rings, which has a horde of it. That was a stretch.
This is so stupid.
You're like, go. I totally made that up. We need to find a new game. I don't mean that to trick you. I'm just like, that's surprising.
That's exactly what it's meant for.
I like it when it's there's a bad guy and he's bad. Just eat cheese. Man. Yeah. This is a good morning on this particular morning. A little nipply out. I mean, nippy.
I can't breathe.
Really? Oh, wait.
I'm not that in. Magic chair.
Welcome, everyone, to a mini-series show I'm calling Pocket Reviews. This is a show where I, your host, Andrew Luttrell, will be watching a movie, giving a short 15 to 20 minute long review, and most of the time sharing my thoughts with a guest. This guest will be sharing their thoughts and opinions as well about the movie. While this is not a Patreon-exclusive mini-series, this show is brought to you by the Talk This Way podcast Patreon. For those of you who don't know, Patreon is a place where people can go to support their favorite creators while getting awesome benefits in return. By joining one of the tiers your creator offers, you will get different benefits. For example, the Talk This Way podcast Patreon tier, for $3 a month, otherwise known as the J.J. Abrams tier, will give you early access to content, discount codes for merch, and other products, special Patreon shoutouts, and free stickers. This is just one of the 5 different tiers that the Talk This Way podcast Patreon has to offer you. Be sure to check it out if you enjoy our content and want to support us as well as get awesome exclusives. The link is in the bio of the episode. So for those of you who have not seen this movie or read the book, here is a brief story summary. A mythic and emotionally charged hero's journey, Dune, tells the story of Paul Atreides, a brilliant and gifted young man, born into a great destiny beyond his understanding. He must travel to the most dangerous planet in the universe to ensure the future of his family and his people. As malevolent forces explode into conflict over the planet's exclusive supply of the most precious resource in existence, a commodity capable of unlocking humanity's greatest potential, only those who can conquer their fear will survive. Wow. That was a really good story summary, and it gave away nothing. I love that. Usually IMDb story summaries are trash, but that one was really good. Released on October 22nd, 2021, Dune's budget was $165 million. Now, gross USA, this is just the US, it made $40 million, which obviously is not a lot. Opening weekend, it actually made the same amount of money as the gross US. So I guess that's just this far because we're just getting out of the weekend. So in recording this episode, it's Monday. Like, these numbers are probably the exact same because that's all that they've made in the US, and because it's opening weekend. Now, gross worldwide, again, this came out technically on Thursday, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so 5 days it's been out. The budget was $165 million. Gross worldwide, it's $220,700,000 is how much it's made. It made its budget back opening weekend, which, in my opinion, is like a huge, huge thing. Like, that's not common. Most movies that are of this, like, caliber, in a sense, usually do not make that. So this was this was super cool to be able to see a movie do that. I'm doing the first question. What is your most favorite item that you've purchased this year?
Ooh. You probably know this. So I went to Disney this summer.
Yep.
And I got to experience like building a lightsaber. And it was a lot of money, but it was worth every single penny, and just the experience was just like the best thing ever.
Oh yeah.
So,
I wanted to so bad when I went, but
Mhm.
I didn't have the cash.
Yeah, and also like I kept checking like every time we were there because like I wasn't aware you had to make a reservation, and like
Oh no.
but like I was able to like find one. I was like, I don't care if it's like the crack of dawn or close to midnight. I mean, like I'll do it whenever. So,
Right. And you got in. Look at that.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's awesome, dude. I'm jealous. Cool. Well, yeah, definitely worth it. Do you have it hanging up somewhere now?
I have it. I got a little display stand, so it's just kind of just like sitting on top of like our shelf like thing in our
Yeah.
room. So
Nice.
it's just on display, and you can like remove the blade.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does it have the blade right now when it's on display, or is it just
Oh
the hilt?
no. I think it would fall off. Like, but yeah, you can take it off, and I just kind of stored it in the little bag they gave us.
Nice.
So
That's awesome.
I just have it sitting up there.
Dude, that's cool. Okay, I gotta ask though, what color is it?
Oh, I chose red.
Oh, of course, all the way.
Yeah, sip all day, man.
Oh, heck yeah. Awesome. Okay. Well, unfortunately, we're not talking about Star Wars. We're talking about Dune.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'll just start off by asking what your thoughts were about it. Like, the plot, the story, the characters, the cinematography. Like, we both read the book, so obviously we went in there kind of knowing already what was going on. But, like, as far as the movie is concerned, what were your thoughts?
Well, I haven't finished. I finished book 1 and 2, and I started book 3.
Yeah.
But I was like, I knew this was going to be 2 parts.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I think I've read far enough, and I've actually read further from the first part. So I was like, okay, this is going to be the next part, or
Yeah.
But overall, it was everything I wanted it to be, and more. Like, it was just like I was blown away.
Oh my, absolutely, dude.
It was just like, oh my god, like
Julia, my girlfriend who was there with us, because your wife came too when we went to go see it together. And like, she had not read, like, she read the first couple of chapters, but she had not read as much as we had. Like me and you had, and she was like, at first she kept nudging me of like, I don't know what's going on, and I'm like, that's okay, hold on,
yeah.
And it was like, but it did, like, even I feel like even if you've never read the book, it was so good. Like,
yeah,
I almost, part of me wishes that I hadn't read it and that I had watched it first, just because, like, and I definitely plan on seeing it again. So I haven't yet. I was actually going to on Sunday. We went and saw it Friday, or nice. Thursday.
Yeah.
And I was gonna go see it that Sunday, but something came up and I didn't get to. But I was about to go see it. But yeah, it was. That was amazing. Amazing.
And it's funny because, like, my wife Hannah, she hasn't read the book at all.
Yeah.
And she went, so like I got, like, it was cool to get her comparison. And she said she only asked me like basically one like major question that like kind of bothered her about the movie.
Yeah.
But other than that, like she followed along to the story, and she loved it like just as much as I did.
Yeah.
But like she caught it, like you said, like she followed along well, and she really enjoyed the movie, and she's now gonna like read the books.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And I think that's what I'm hoping will Julia, like, that's what I was talking to her about too afterwards. I was like, I hope this sparks your desire to read the rest of the book, because for me, it definitely sparks my desire to read the rest of the books,
Oh,
like,
me too, 100%.
Which is weird. Like, for those of you that are listening that have not read the book, it's a little weird just because the book, like the first physical book, is separated into 3 books.
Right.
Like, if that makes any sense at all. Because it's like the sections, there's still chapters, but the sections are like book 1, book 2, and book 3 within the first physical book. And then there are other physical books. And I looked at them, and they're book 4, 5, and 6 within the same physical book. So I think that's just the way that the author decided to format it. Yeah. Which is a little confusing when you try to talk about it on a podcast, but right. But still, it's cool. Like, I definitely, like, as soon as I can get enough money to go buy these, like, to justify buying these, I want, this may sound crazy, and you can totally be like, yeah, you're crazy for this, but like, I want to own a physical copy of this book, even though I pretty much listen to all of my books. I just want
dude,
to own a physical copy.
dude, I'm right there with you. Like I was like, once I finish listening to this, I'm gonna buy like a paperback or whatever. Like I'm gonna like read the book before the second part.
Yeah.
Hopefully that happens. I think it should. It
Yeah.
should happen.
Well, I mean, the next one, I mean, this just came out, so there's no way
Right.
that next one's going to come out for a little while. Unless they filmed
Mm.
it all at the same time, which I didn't see anything in my research about it, but
No,
who
they
knows?
didn't.
I didn't
Yeah,
think so.
I looked on IMDb and
Yeah. That's
they
where I get my
were
information too.
yeah they were it's in pre-production, it says, so that means like they're writing it basically.
Okay. Well, that's still cool. I mean,
Mhm.
I hope they don't get a different director though, because that usually messes up those kind of things.
Oh,
But-
Denis won't let that happen. He would be
Okay,
like,
good.
no.
Good. But yeah. Speaking of the books, by the way, if you do want to go get a physical copy, there's a hardcover at Books a Million. They have like tons of different versions of the same book. Like Dune, like the first Dune book,
Yeah.
is like they have 5 different hardcover copies of it. It's all the
Oh,
same,
yeah.
but like the artwork is different, the size, the print is a little different.
Mhm.
The one I bought for Julia is like a smaller print kind, and it's a little bit thicker, but it's smaller. The one I want for my own collection is it's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit bigger of a print, but the cover is a giant worm.
Oh,
Is
really?
like one of the worms, and then obviously Paul like standing there staring at it. Like it's just so cool.
Yeah.
Like the cover is just so cool, and I'm like, yeah, I want that one, but it's like $50. So I'm like,
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen that one. I've seen the one where it's like it says Dune and it's like in like a straight line like down the middle.
yeah.
And it has like the sand and whatever.
Yeah, I think that's the one that
That's
that I
like the
got.
thicker one.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah.
one that I got for Julia. And it's a little smaller.
Mm.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay. So yeah, freaking story obviously was really good.
Oh, 100%.
Like
Yes.
absolutely. The characters, the only thing I would say is that, and which, from reading the book I understand, but the way they advertised it, like with the trailers, Zendaya was like hardly in this part.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to this movie like and you love Zendaya and you're like, oh, I gotta see this because Zendaya's gonna be in it because she's all over the trailers. Oh,
She's not.
She's not. Yeah, she's like
Yeah.
probably in there for like. Would you say like 5 minutes? Like,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, she's throughout in the sense of like flashbacks. Like
Right.
basically, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen all the parts that she's in.
it's like she's in the
yeah.
she's in the beginning, she's at the end, and then like in between, it's like she's like filming like a music video. Like,
Right.
it's
Exactly.
like-
Exactly. Oh, that's a perfect description.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
yeah. So definitely, if you're going to see it for Zendaya, find another reason to go see it because you still should.
you should still go see it. But
Yeah. Yeah, and then like the cinematography too, like that was incredible. Like I
yeah.
loved the way that they shot all those scenes, obviously in the sand and everything. Like the detail
Mhm.
that went into the CGI of like the worm and like all that other stuff, like it looked really, really good.
Yeah, and
Which,
I was telling Hannah, like, because like I heard people talking about it and they were like, yeah, cinematography's really good, the visuals are good, and then like I watched the movie, and I was just thinking to myself like, I couldn't tell like what was like a prop, what was
Mhm.
well like it's like, is there a little ship coming out of the water? Or like, is there like literally ships like landing on set? Like I mean, like, I'm sure
Right.
like a lot of it was like visual effects, but like it just all looked so real, and I was just like, dude, this is insane.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You know?
I know. And like, yeah, just and the ship, like, I'm sure those ships were not. I mean, obviously they were probably props and CGI, like a combination, but like
Right. Yeah.
the designs of them and everything, like they took what the book had and made it reality. Like it looks really good outside of the book, and then if you've read the book, it looks almost exactly like the way that the book described it. Like
Right. Yeah.
when the book was talking about a thopter, I was like, oh yeah, that's like a helicopter mixed with like a insect, you know, because of the way that they described it. And then you look at the movie and you're like, oh my god, it's a dragonfly helicopter. You know, you're
Exactly.
like, that's so cool. But sweet. Okay, so what was your favorite scene from this movie?
Oh, so difficult.
I know.
I would. I have a few. I would say probably Duncan. Spoilers
Yeah.
in case you haven't. Yeah, but like when like his last like stand, that was like that was awesome. Like
Yeah, that was so cool.
I mean, Jason Momoa just in general, it's just like he did a fantastic job in this movie, and I think he was perfectly casted at that character.
Yes.
And like like Hannah was like, "Oh, I really liked him," and I was like, "Well, I knew he was gonna die, but like
Right.
he's still like did a really good job, and he really made it like a good performance for that character."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would say that, and then I would say the desert when they were like after they went through that sandstorm, and it was like right before the sandworm like chases them down, and it was like when they were making a run for like the rocks, and just like you get the shot of like behind Paul, and it's just like this giant worm just like coming at him. I mean, I thought that was that was beautiful.
Yeah. No, I know. Oh, those are good. I agree. Like one of mine was definitely Duncan's last stand. Like that was for sure one of mine because it's just so perfect. Well, not perfectly, but it's so well choreographed. Like it was done very, very well. But I think, and this is just because and again, this is what's hard because I read the book and so I had all these expectations, right? And again, that's another reason why I loved it so much is because they captured what I read from the book really well. Like when I read it from the book, I pictured it in my head, and this movie did what I thought in my head, basically. And so I think my favorite scene, at least as of right now, is when the Duke Leto tries to kill the Baron with the tooth.
Oh yes, yes.
Like that whole scene, like from when it started of him waking up to him, getting or them finding the the Baron still alive on the roof.
Oh my god.
Or on the ceiling. Like that whole part, I was like, I like as I was reading, I was playing it different ways in my head of how it was gonna look cinematically and like in real life, and like they just did that so well. Like like the Baron looking the way that he does, and like the whole tooth breaking and him blowing out the smoke and everybody freaking out and dying instantly. Like I was like, that's so cool. But
yeah. And I kind of want to like, because you kind of talked about like reading this part in like the book, and then like imagining like what it's gonna look like in the movie. I had that like same thought about like towards the beginning, like when he takes the test with the Reverend Mother.
Yes, in the box.
With the Gom Jabbar needle. And I was just like, I was reading that scene. I was just reading that part in the book, and I was just like, this is gonna be like insane. And like, when that happened, it was like tense, suspenseful. Even though I knew it was gonna happen, like it was just like, and like Hans Zimmer's like score, and like just like all the like chanting he recorded. I was just like, this is like perfect. Like it was just like, it was like, that's like another favorite scene of mine was just, and then Paul was just having all those visions, and it was just a nutty scene. Like
and I loved like the directing for this and like the editing that happened here, because it's really nice if you can catch on to it and you're just kind of like, you can appreciate it a lot, but like if you hadn't read the book, it was a little bit harder. Like Julia mentioned that it was a little bit harder to understand or to catch it. But you know, in the book, when he has his hand in there, he talks about it burning. You know what I mean? Like it was like he said that he felt his flesh falling off of his hand, you know.
Yeah, and
it burned that bad.
It showed his hand like kind of burnt and like
but like it cut to it really fast. Like it was like a snapshot of like burning flesh on a hand and then fire and then like lava and melting and like very like nonchalant mentions to what he was feeling without him actually saying it burns, you know, or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like they did that really, really well.
Yeah. I actually like when I got home from work, because I have HBO Max. Go see in the theaters. Go see in the theaters. Go see in the theaters.
Dude, I got kind of mad. I was like, why? Why would you do that right now? Like, give it a week.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, man. Well, I got to somehow convert this 30-minute conversation to less than 20 minutes. This is going to be fun. Yeah, exactly. But, all right, man, I'll let you get back to your night. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
So here is the Rotten Tomato meter for Dune, which super, super cool and super, like, I love that it's gotten this high of a rating because it was so good. And it's definitely worth every percentage on this, but the tomato meter, which are the critics, gave it an 83%. The audience score gave it a 91%, which is awesome. Super glad that happened. So yeah, if you guys could rate this movie 1 out of 100, spice highs, how many would it be? Be sure to leave your answer in the comments or message us on Patreon. Thank you guys for listening to our short episode, and be sure to check out more on our Patreon.
Talk this way.